Okay, this is the Unit 5 review. So this is all about simplification of fractions and how to add fractions, divide fractions, multiply fractions, and all sorts of good stuff. All right, so we are asked to simplify this very first example. So I'll just write down exactly what the problem is and then go ahead and do it. So the key to almost all of these things is proper factoring. So I can take a 6x squared out of this first one, which leaves an x minus 4. Here, multiply to negative 20 and add to a positive 1. There you go. All right, so before any simplifications, before any cancellations occur, we have to get the exclusions or the restrictions. And those are any bottom x needs to have some sort of restriction, whether it's inside or outside, whatever. Any bottom x has to have a restriction. So here we see that x cannot be equal to positive 4 and x cannot be equal to negative 5. I'm going to stop writing positive 4 with a positive on there because I don't think the calculator, if you physically have to type it in, I don't think the computer recognizes it. So 4. X can't be 4. All right. So with everything factored and everything, we cancel out anything that is the exact same, and I see that I have an x minus 4. All right, so that leaves my answer to be 6x squared over x plus 5 with the restrictions of 4 and negative 5. Okay. Second one, is negative 1 in a solution to? So here, all we do is we physically put in the number negative 1 for any of the x's. It's just a little bit smaller so I can finish up the problem here. Those two things are not equal to each other, so this is not a solution. Is negative 1 a solution to? Nope. When I have an equal sign, what I want to do is get a common denominator of everything. Okay, so I have an x plus 3, I have a 4, and so this needs a 4, and this needs an x plus 3. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top of that individual fraction. And also, before I begin, let's get any restrictions. X cannot be equal to negative 3. Okay, as soon as I get this common denominator, forget about it. You don't have to do it. All right, so you don't have to worry about the denominator. All the math that remains is just sheerly with that numerator. And I see that left is 4 times 7, and the right is x with x plus 3, so that's x squared plus 3x. Okay, so I have an x squared, so I'm going to move things to that x squared side. That would mean minus 28. Okay, here I want to add to a negative 28, or excuse me, multiply to a negative 28 and add to a positive 3. So that would be a negative 4 and a positive 7. Thus, x's are equal to positive 4, and I'm going to stop writing positive positive 4, and negative 7. Okay, those are my answers, which they have written there on the side already. Now we have to check to see if they are extraneous. So checking the positive 4, that'd be 7 over 4 plus 3, and that'd be 4 over 4. So this is 7 over 7, and this is 1, and 7 over 7 is 1, and hooray! So 4 is a good answer. Okay, so that one checks out. That one's all right. Switch it somewhere. And now let's check out the negative 7. So 7 over negative 7 plus 3 is equal to negative 7 over 4. So this is 7 over negative 4, negative 7 over 4, negative 7 over 4, negative 7 over 4. Hooray! So negative 7 works as well. So positive 4 worked, and negative 7 worked. They are not extraneous. They're not extraneous. Okay, division. Okay, so what we do is we take any restrictions before, and then what a division is it becomes a multiplication of this second fraction upside down. The second fraction upside down. So it becomes a multiplication of the reciprocal, is the technical terms. Okay, let's get to factoring. Okay, so current restrictions. Nothing's a repeat. Those are the current restrictions. Okay, so the first fraction will stay where it is, and the second fraction will flip. First fraction will stay where it is, and the second fraction will flip. All right, so currently the top is a 2x squared with an x minus 6, and the second fraction is flipping, so it will get an x plus 3 and then x plus 6. Okay, currently the bottom is x plus 2, x minus 6, and it's getting an 8x squared on the outside and an x plus 3. Okay, so again, before I move and do anything else, let's take the restrictions after the division. So we get a new one right here, x can't be equal to 0. Okay, x can't be negative 2, we already have that. X can't be positive 6, we already have that one. And x cannot be negative 3, and we already have that one. Okay, now let's go ahead and cancel. So 2 and 8 is a 1 and a 4. X squareds are exactly the same. I have a minus 6 with a minus 6. I have a plus 3 with a plus 3. Shrink this down so I can get my answer in here. And so what's left? We have a 1, and an x plus 6. And the bottom, we have an outside 4 and an x plus 2. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Okay, in addition, that means we have to get a common denominator, and the denominator will remain the same. Okay, so let's write the problem here. All right, let's see here. We have a what? 4 and 2, so it'd be a -2 and a +4. Okay, this already has a -2. So the denominator is going to be -2 plus 4. And so the left-hand side is all good, but the right-hand side needs a +4. Okay. Current restrictions exist at +2 and -4 and +2 already taken. So those are the restrictions. Now let's see what we have after our simplification here. So as soon as the denominator is established, it is what it is. So the denominator is -2 plus 4. So that is what it is. And let's see what we have here. The left-hand side wasn't touched. That's x minus 7. And then we have a plus, and then 1 is multiplying in, so that's 1x and a +4. So this is 2x -3. And there it is. Okay, a subtraction is the same thing as an addition, but we have to kind of manipulate the minus here, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so this is an x plus 2. All right, so restrictions right now are -2, 0, and -2 is already taken. So x and x plus 2 looks like the denominator. This left-hand side needs an x, and that's about it. Okay, now what I was saying about how the minus is the same as an addition is I turn the minus into a plus. I just make that top number negative. Or if there's multiple numbers, I switch all of the signs of whatever the numerator is. Okay, so words all over the place. There we go. All right, so here we go. Left-hand side is x with 2x, so that's a 2x squared. Right is a -8. And then we have an x and an x plus 2. All right, I do see some factoring that is going to have to take place, and that's with this numerator. And so I can GCF out a 2, but then I am left with a square minus in the middle. And so that's a +2 minus 2. So this top is technically 2x plus 2x minus 2 with an x plus 2. So simplification. I'm left with a 2x minus 2 all over an x. Okay, next one is a division. So that's going to be a multiplication of the upside down of the second. So there is no factoring to do right here. It's all outside stuff technically. Okay, so let me just kind of jot down what we currently have and what we're going to do. Right, so we take restrictions before the division. So y cannot be equal to 0, x cannot be equal to 0, and then again, y cannot be equal to 0, which I already have. Okay, so I'm going to flip this second. So currently there is a 12x squared y, and the bottom comes up, so I'm getting a 2xy along with it. So that is going to be 24x to the third y squared. 24x to the third y squared. Okay, the bottom. Currently it's a 5y squared, and it's getting a 3x squared. So that's going to be 15x squared y squared. Okay, so we took restrictions before the division, and now we have to take restrictions again after the division. And so again, x can't be equal to 0, which I already have, and y can't be equal to 0, again, which I already have. Let's go ahead and simplify the numbers. I can simplify by a 3, so that's a 5 and an 8. X's are bigger on top by 1, and y's are exactly the same, so they completely cancel. So I'm left with an 8x over 5. Okay. When I have an equal sign, what I want to do is I want to get a complete common denominator across the board. And then as soon as I get that complete common denominator, I can absolutely eliminate all of the denominator from everything and just work with the top. All right, so I see x plus 5, x minus 5 over here already. That's what that is. All right. So it looks like the common denominator will be a plus 5 minus 5. Okay, so actually before that, x can't be equal to positive 5. X can't be equal to negative 5. Negative 5 I already have. Positive 5 I already have. All right, so common denominators across the board. This far, far left one needs a plus 5. The middle, it has a plus 5, it needs a minus 5. And the right, super right, it has both of them, so it has a common denominator already. So as soon as that denominator is established, I can completely forget about the denominator itself. All right, so what do we have now? So this far left is an x plus 5 times 1. That's x plus 5. The middle is an x minus 5 times 1, so that's an x minus 5. And the answer didn't need anything, so that's an x plus 3. So this is a 2x is equal to x plus 3. I'm going to move the letters to the left, so that would involve minus 1x. Minus 1x leaves an x. It's positive 3, so x is equal to 3. Okay. To check it out, I would probably plug into my Desmos calculator. Let's see if I have one of those handy here. Oops, loading a video there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it into this original equation. Every x is now going to be the number 3. So 1 divided by 3 minus 5 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 5. Okay, and so that answer is negative 3.75, or aka negative 3/8. And on the right-hand side, that would be 3 plus 3 divided by, oops, that didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. Let's try this one more time. So 3 plus 3 divided by 3 squared minus 25. And that 2 comes out to be negative 3/8. So that one, the left, is equal to the right. So that works out. That is our answer. So positive 3 is good to go. Okay, simplify. So again, most of these problems are just a straight up idea of you got to factor stuff. Okay, before any simplification takes place, you have to get your restrictions. So before I cancel anything out, before I move anything around, I have to get any restrictions. All right, so the numbers, 5 over 3, can't do anything with that. X over x cancels. A minus 5 with a minus 5, okay, and that's as good as it gets. So I'm left with the top being 5 and the bottom being 3 and an x plus 5. Okay, again, multiplication, it's just the tops are the tops, the bottoms are the bottoms. All right, so restrictions. X can't be 0, y can't be 0, x can't be 0, which I already have. All right, so cleaning this up just once. Because it's a multiplication, think of it as kind of like that. So the numbers are 4, x squared in x is x to the third, y to the third, y1 is y to the fourth. The bottom is 20, x's are 8, y's are 6. Simplification, 4 over 20 is 1 over 5. X's are bigger on bottom by 5. y's are bigger on bottom by 2. So that leaves a 5x to the 5th y squared, nothing on top, nothing is the number 1. Is negative 2 a solution to that? Again, I'm going to go to my Desmos. I'm going to go to my Desmos, which I think I put right here. So I'm testing the number negative 2. So the right-hand side is 3 times negative 2 minus 1. And I'm going to put that in a big parentheses. Divided by negative 2 minus 2 plus 3. So the left-hand side is equal to 4.75, or aka 19 over 4. The right-hand side is negative 2 divided by negative 2 minus 2, which is positive 1/2. The left is not the same as the right. So if I plugged it in, the left-hand side became 19 over 4. The right-hand side became 1 over 2. They are not the same thing, so that is that a solution? No, that is not a solution. All right, so here we have a minus. So that means a common denominator. It doesn't go away, but as soon as you get that denominator, you don't have to do anything with it. All right, so turn that into a plus, and that becomes a negative 6. Okay, here we go. Current restrictions. Okay. So I need a denominator of a plus 3 and a plus 2. So this left-hand side needs the plus 2. Right-hand side needs the plus 3. And then that is the common denominator. So again, as soon as it's established, it doesn't go away, but it doesn't change. It is what it is. All the math that is left is just sheerly with the top. Actually, I'll write it right alongside it. So the left-hand side becomes x squared plus 2x. And then this would be negative 6 minus 18 with a plus 2 plus 3. So this is x squared minus 4x minus 18. I don't think that simplifies. 18 to a 3. So negative 18, for instance. Negative 18. None of those add to a negative 4, so I am not, that's not going to be factorable. That is as good as it gets. Okay, here this minus is going to be a little bit more tricky than what we're used to, but it's good that it's on here so we can prepare ourselves for what we need to do. Make this just a little bit bigger. Let's get rid of this Desmos calculator here. we got our restrictions. Okay, so let's talk about this minus. So I am going to turn this into a plus, and what we do is we make this top negative. Now, what that means is typically it's just a singular number up there. But here we have a multiple. So what you do is you change all of the signs. So that would become a negative 7x and a positive 1. So you just flip all of the signs that is on that numerator. Okay, common denominator is going to be a minus 5 plus 5. So this left-hand side needs a plus 5. Okay, so now this is going to be kind of an adventure right here. Okay, let's see what we got. One thing that I do know already is that the denominator is going to be plus 5 minus 5. Unless there's a simplification at the very end, that's what it is. Okay, so the denominator is going to be a plus 5 minus 5. Okay, let's see what we have here. Looking at that far left is an x plus 5 times a 2x plus 3. So let's go ahead and do this multiplication. We begin with the x, and so x multiplies everything of that right parentheses. So x times 2x, x times 3. All right, I move on to the next number, which is a 5, and I repeat everything of that second parentheses. So 5 times 2x, and 5 times 3. So all together, that's 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. So the left-hand side comes out to be a 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. I didn't touch the right-hand side, well, besides the minus, and so that is technically a negative 7x plus 1. So now I just need to combine the terms, so x's go with x's, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think this is going to turn out to be anything good, but I could GCF out a 2. Let's just take a quick glance at if anything would come about because of that. No, nothing will. Because the multiplication number here would be a positive 8. So both positive, both negative. So no matter how you shake it, you can't add to a positive 3. So nothing factors, and that would be your end result. One of these last two answers would be the answer. Is for a solution. Let's chuck it in the old Desmos. I want one of these to be a solution. Like, I don't know if I've seen, yes, it is a solution problem. All right, so the left-hand side is 4 divided by 4 minus 5 plus 4. So the left-hand side is 0. Not going to be the same. Okay, so, and the right-hand side is 1 divided by 4 plus 3. Not 1/7, I think that is. Yeah. So the left-hand side came out to be 0. Right-hand side came out to be 1/7. Is that a solution? No, that is not a solution. I think that's it.